So this Mr. McMahon documentary is coming out. Now, we've been hearing about this for a little bit, but the trailer was released yesterday. I wanted to make a video about this yesterday, but I was just simply too tired. Now, this Mr. McMahon documentary, this is obviously about Vince McMahon and everything he's done and who he is and what he's all about and WWE and all that stuff. And it looks dreadful. I'm sorry to say. I mean, look, and what I mean by that is, yeah, it's a documentary. It's going to be good. Documentaries are good. Documentaries have a way of capturing your attention and making you care about something that you have never concerned yourself with before. Okay? Non-wrestling fans are going to be watching this documentary. Everybody's going to be watching this documentary. The problem is, there's nothing of substance here. I mean, this is a documentary that is going to be an absolute nothing burger. We forever have heard stories of Vince McMahon. We know the story of Vince McMahon. Real, like, deep, hardcore wrestling fans, they know about a lot of stuff. They know about a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, I mean, the book I was reading, something main event, it's time for the main event. We promised you a good show. I don't know what the book is. I'll see if I can find it and put a picture of it. We promised you a great main event. It's something like that. Anyway, the book, it's very in detail of, like, you know, who Vince McMahon as a person is and the rise of WWF and WWE and all that stuff. And I'm sure this documentary is going to go over all that stuff. But the problem is, you know, to a, you know, somewhat not a non-casual wrestling fan like myself, probably like you watching, there's not going to be any new information here. We've all heard about the current lawsuit with Vince McMahon too. Everybody in generally knows what's going on. And guess what? I don't think they're going to mention that. And if they do, it's going to be quite brief. Vince McMahon himself is in this documentary. And guess who else is in this documentary? John Cena, who I canceled, and a bunch of other, like, I think there was like a WWE writer or something in there. And just these people, these are Vince McMahon yes men. I mean, if Vince McMahon himself is in the documentary, there's not going to be anything of substance here. Because Raw will be coming to Netflix. All this is, you know, Raw's coming January. Here is the rise of WWE and the controversial Vince McMahon and everything you need to know before WWE Raw comes to Netflix. That's all this is. And I'm sure it will be good. I mean, I'm a kind of a big documentary guy myself. I made one. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's basically, you know, it summarizes kind of a little bit like AEW's history and what it might look like in the coming year, in 2025. And I get opinions from fans, and that's really all it is. It's made by fans of AEW. We talk about how, you know, when AEW was at its best. We talk about how it's at a low point right now. We talk about what people can do to fix it. All that stuff. The rise of AEW and the fall of AEW. AEW in 2025, that's my documentary. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Alright? So, I know a little bit about documentaries. And, of course, you know, Dark Side of the Ring, there's several episodes that are just mind-blowing. Like, and stories that we all know. Like, these are stories that we know as wrestling fans. They're not really adding any new information here with some of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes. Most of them, yes. I mean, most of them, you know, I'll watch them and I'll be like, I did not know that at all. And I don't think a lot of people did. But even if you know everything about a documentary, even if you know every ounce of information, people like to watch documentaries. So, everyone's going to be watching this. But it's not going to be what anybody expects. This is not some, you know, Mr. McMahon, and here's the truth about Mr. McMahon, and how evil he was, and this is what's going on in the lawsuit right now, and this, and whatever. It's not going to be that. It's going to be, here's Vince McMahon, and he was kind of a strange and quirky guy and when he was rising bull, but he's a brilliant genius, and he's a self-made billionaire, and, you know, we should, come on, guys, he built the WWE. Dude, John Cena is the biggest yes man for Vince of all time. Isn't Hunter in the documentary, too? I'm pretty sure they were already, like, pretty much making this documentary before all this stuff came out. Like, this, I'm pretty sure this has been years in the making. And this was really just about Vince McMahon's rise to popularity and, you know, the rise of WWE and everything about Vince McMahon. And, you know, he had his quirks and he was a weird guy, but this is Vince McMahon and he is a genius. That's what this was supposed to be, I think. But then this lawsuit comes out and Vince is, you know, whatever, fired by, you know, TKO, and he's not involved anymore. And I feel like they probably put the documentary on a pause. They put it on a pause, waited for things to cool down, and maybe now they've added some new stuff into the documentary. Like, I just have a feeling this was supposed to come out like a year ago, but then all this stuff came out and they had to put a hold on it, and, you know, they had to go to the editing room and do, you know, remove a bunch of stuff, take out, you know, add stuff in, and now it's ready. Because really, I truly, I mean, Vince is in it. Like, dude. I'm just saying, there's not going to be, don't expect anything of actual substance here. This is nothing but a nothing burger. This is a story of the rise of Vince and the rise of the WWE and nothing more. With me, maybe a little bit of, oh, I didn't really know that much about Vince, and, well, that's pretty weird of Vince, and, you know, that's kind of, but that's it. This is not going to be some exposing Vince, you know, Vince is evil, whatever. If you want to get something like that, maybe I'll make it. Maybe somebody else already made it. Maybe someone else is making it, I don't know. But that's not what this is. Will I be seated? Yeah. Will I last through the whole thing? I don't know. But am I going to be mind blown? Am I going to be, like, shocked? Am I going to, you know, am I going to think that they're actually going to say something, like, horrendous about Vince McMahon? No way. No way. That's just not going to happen. So, gee, SmackDown is on right now. Like, but football's on, so it doesn't, you know. But that's it for me. Let me know what you think about this documentary in the comments. Are you going to be watching it? Are you interested in it? I'm a little bit interested, but that's just because I like documentaries. I'm not interested because, oh, this is going to, you know, really expose some stuff, and, you know, the IWC is going to be crazy when this drops. No. Alright, but let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong. That's it. Good night.